Whale fam. Whale fam. Whale fam, what is up? What is going on? How are you all feeling right now? Talk to me. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You already know I love y'all. You already know what it is. All right, check this out. So, before I introduce our guests for the day or evening, depending on what time zone you're in, I'm going to give a little brief backstory. I made a comment on Twitter a couple of weeks back, and it was in regards to NFT marketplaces and collectible marketplaces, respectively. And I said that right now, it's anybody's game. You know, there is no clear number one. There is no top dog at the moment. That being said, this particular team and project that I'm about to introduce, I feel personally stepped up and said, hold on one second. I think you need to take a look at us. And I was like, okay. And I think they have a strong case. I think they have a really, really strong case. That being said, Whale fam, I would like to introduce you to the team at Terra Virtua. So please show them some love in the stream text channel while I unmute them. All right, Jeff, Jawad, you are unmuted.
Let me just, Whale fam, what up?
let me get to Greg. Hold on. Wait. Okay, there he is. There you go, Greg. You're unmuted. I'm looking for Dan.
Thanks, Show.
There he is. Okay.
Show, that whole radio DJ vibe thing you're doing right now is just absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Seriously, I want to make
come up, man.
I want to mix.
It's all love, man. It's love. Oh, you want a mixtape?
Seriously.
I gotta drop another whale in the channel for everybody.
Oh, boom! There it is. From Jeff. Everyone, please say thank you to Jeff for being kind and gracious. Jeff is actually, if I'm not mistaken, you're a whale and a dolphin too, right? You have.
I am roles? A whale, a dolphin, a shark, a staker, everything. I'm very invested in the whale community. I love it here. I honestly think it's one of the best communities I've ever seen in the space. Actually, it quite possibly could be the top community in the space. I would argue that it is. So very happy to be here with everybody today, for sure.
Absolutely.
What? That is crazy. Hey Dan, you're unmuted, right? Let me know if you can hear me right now. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
There you go. All right, cool. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And Jawad, would you like to share your screen if you can?
Yeah, sure. I'll just put a little reel on and just have him running on the background. 1 second.
Hey everyone, I'd like to direct your attention to Jawad from Terra Virtua's screen that he's sharing right now. Again, Whale fam, please direct your attention to Jawad's stream.
Yeah, so basically, I'm Jawad. I'm the CTO of Terra Virtua, one of the co-founders. Gary and I set this company up a few years ago. Even back then when we launched, the whole idea was to try to bring NFTs into the mainstream. So that's me. And Gary, you there? If you want to say hello.
I'm here. Hi. Proud to be on this. Still trying to get to grips with it, but this is fantastic. Loving it.
Cool. And Jeff's been with us for about a year. He's been key in helping us get the marketplace together. We have a technology and video game background, so My background is I worked in tech games, tech companies, video game companies over the years, built them, sold them, and just generally done stuff that I've really enjoyed. Gary's from a video games background as well, but Jeff is the man who's actually really educated us in marketplaces, how they work, what actually we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing, and also teaching us to really listen to what the community say. Because like what we understand in crypto is that it's all about the community. And that's really what we try to embrace in Terra Virtua.
Absolutely. We don't listen to each other. We just listen to the community.
That's actually quite a truth. I remember when I came on board, I yelled at them. I was like, hey, guys, we need to listen to the feedback from the users when we need to build what they want. We don't want to build yet another project in the blockchain space where it's like, here's what you get. You better like it. And if you don't like it, we're going to force you to like it. That's not what we're about. You know, that's one of the reasons why I even came in and developed a relationship with the man, the mystery, the legend, Whale Shark himself. And, you know, and we talked to a lot of people in this community outside of Whale even and other communities. And it's very big on us for building things that you actually want to do, what you want to see. So, you know, I always encourage everybody, even in here, if you're not in our Discord or if you don't know me, shoot me a DM if you wish, but just talk to us, be honest. You know, we have a couple of people in there that have given us both positive and negative feedback, but at the end of the day, it's neither here or there, right? It's things that are needed to get the product to where we want it to be so that the most amount of people can enjoy it at the same time.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just worth just telling the journey of where we started from. It might be good to just frame it a little bit. So, so Gary and I got together years ago, and essentially I just caught him on the way out because we all live in different places. So I live in Dubai. Most of the Terra Virtua team is in the UK. Jeff and a couple of the guys are in the States, and Gary and I, we got together. I was leaving to go back to Dubai. We literally met up at Starbucks car park and discussed the idea of Terra Virtua back in 2018. And then after that, we got together and started building it. And I'll hand over to Gary because he's better at telling the story than I am in terms of how we started.
Yeah. It was 2017, October 2017. We met up to discuss other sort of business. We started brainstorming. We came up with this idea. And we're both from a sort of video games background. I'm based in the UK, as Jawad said. He's based in Dubai. And we came up with this idea, which actually originally, to be perfectly honest, was all based in VR. But obviously, that was with the anticipation that VR was going to come mainstream within a couple of years. And that didn't happen for various reasons. So we had to pivot to desktop and mobile and everything else. But we've been working on this pretty solidly for 3 years. And we really are having a great time. Loving the blockchain community, the NFT community, getting to know people. Whale Shark, the whale community, is something that's relatively new to us and completely blown away by the warmth and the positivity. And you need that, you know, when you're a startup and things don't always go to plan. It's nice to get the encouragement, and we are really getting a lot of encouragement. So thanks so far. And this is just the beginning of the journey. We wanted to make a complete platform. So we're building NFTs. We're making 3D models in a really high fidelity. We're creating animations for them. And then we've created this whole vertical platform, which allows you to interact with these NFTs. So you can have a fan cave. What you're seeing right now, if you've got the stream on, is the Terra Dome, and that will house your large collectibles like spaceships and vehicles and monsters. Shortly, we're going to be releasing our Pacific Rim collection, which will be awesome. These will be giant in the Terra Dome. We've also got the fan cave, which is a smaller, more intimate space, allowing you to display your models. You saw a brief glimpse of it then. And you can interact with your friends, bring your friends in, talk to them over voice over IP, see the characters animating. There's even a little TV screen there, and you can watch trailers of your favorite movies. So, and this is evolving. There's a lot more functionality that's going to go in over the coming months. And then we've got the AR app where you can interact with your NFTs in a real life environment. You can see that right now, actually, in a real life environment, and then you can video it and share it on your social media to your friends. And then finally, we've got the art gallery. So rather than just having the marketplace showing the different digital art examples, which you can do on our website, you can also walk through a 3D art gallery and click on the paintings, and you'll get the information, and they'll all be animated if they're animatable. And we've worked really, really hard trying to make the best experience you can possibly have, because we're collectors ourselves. Jawad's a massive collector. He's actually got a full-size Iron Man suit, so I'm really envious. I'm a collector of comic books and video games and stuff like that. So we're all passionate about the space, and what we wanted to do was create something that went a little bit deeper than just merely collecting. We wanted people to collect and then interact with those collections, bring their friends in, and this whole thing, as I keep saying, we're just at the beginning of the journey, and this is going to evolve month by month, and hopefully introducing great new features, which we really need to emphasize. We want your input on. This doesn't work without your feedback, and we need your feedback, good or bad, positive or negative, but most of all constructive. And the good ones we will try and implement as quickly as possible. So that's it. I'm sorry, I tend to waffle on a bit, but I'll hand back over to Jawad.
Wait, Jawad, hold on 1 second. Gary, it's only been like 15 minutes and you just did my entire job for me. Okay, everyone, you can go home. You can go to sleep. Thank you so much. You know, Gary, you have to leave me some of the food to taste, to savor, to eat. I want to dive in. You just jump through the cave and then Jawad's background and just what is going on? Okay, no, I'm kidding. That was actually a really good breakdown, and I appreciate that. Gary, you actually expressed that in a way that is building up some hype, some FOMO with the whale fame. I can kind of tell, so they're really excited. I actually want to start off with you mentioned platforms, and just my personal opinion about your platform is that in the digital collectible space, there are many platforms that do somewhat of what you do, but not really the way that you do it. And to take it up a notch, I would say that your team really kind of nailed it when it comes to having a platform that's modern, stylish, and really takes advantage of cutting edge VR and AR technology. You know, so I think that's a key point that you're exploiting, and I just want to double down on that so you know that that's a very big deal. You know,
thank you.
Saying all that though, I'm gonna jump to Fan Cave and Terra Dome later on, but I'm actually curious about this one thing though, because this is a big thing that you need to tackle, and then we're gonna explore this a bit. This is more so on your business side, right? Movie licensing, television licensing, really difficult. One question: How?
Okay. Well, I can tell you a little story actually, and this is actually quite important because. When we first wanted to set this up, one of the things that we were talking about is that we could see a lot of games that were out there where people were buying skins, but those skins weren't portable. They weren't moving anywhere. And so we saw like the NFT space is something that would become more and more important as people consume digital. Now, when we first formed the team, one of the reasons that Gary and I got together in the first place is that Gary is actually the guy who brought movies to video games. So in his past life, because Gary's, I think, is pushing his over. He looks like he's over 100.
Don't do it.
Yeah, like 503 years old.
Yeah, exactly. But, so what he did was when video games started. Gary used to run one of the biggest video game companies in the world, and movie studios didn't give a damn about video games. They just didn't care. So Gary went to the movie studios and pitched trying to make video games from movies. And he was the guy who sold the first 1 million unit selling video game based on RoboCop. And after he did that, the studios sort of sat up and listened. So this guy's seen it all. He's met Steven Spielberg. He's been in and out of the studios. And so is Doug Dyer, another guy on our team. You know, he sat with J.K. Rowling and they've licensed all this stuff out. So because we had people on our team who had that level of experience, it became a different sort of conversation. You know, we went in to talk to the studios and they'd say, well, you know, blockchain, we don't know the tech and we haven't done that before. And Gary would just say, well, we've done it before. We can do it again. But this is a completely different space, but we can do it. So generally, you do find with licensing, and we managed to get some great licenses that I'm sure Gary can tell you a lot more about. But the way it works with licensing generally is that you can, most of the time you can get a license, but depending upon whether they like you, that license fee can go from something to something insane. And the less they like you, the higher the license fee generally is the rule of thumb, if they even do like you. So basically, based on the trust in our experience, we've been able to go ahead and get studios and take them on the journey. We've had to explain to them what an NFT is. That's a conversation that we've had the most in the last 2 years. What's a non-fungible token? And, you know, when you say non-fungible, the first thing that, you know, they instantly go to the toilet. You know, do you have some sort of STD? But no, I mean, that's where you start. That's where the conversation begins. And then generally we moved on to calling it digital collectibles. Because like everyone's aware of collectibles, the market for collectibles is huge. You know, it's over 64 billion on, if you exclude art, just last year in physical merch. So once you talk to them about collectibles and you talk about engaging an audience who no longer want to buy physical items, but want to buy digital items, and they want to keep them in the same way that somebody would have like a figure they want to keep forever. If you've got like somebody who's into digital, they know that digital item they can pass on to their kids. It's something that's permanent. And so once you had that conversation and you took them on that journey, they were more likely to engage with you. And we had that, you know, like a Legendary gave us Lost in Space to start with. But now after we've proven what we can do and shown them how we can work with the studios and go through all of the legal aspects, because there's so much legality involved in licensing brands, that now they've got the confidence to give us some incredible AAA movies, and Pacific Rim's the first. I mean, that's my monologue. I mean, Gary, what licensing? What other challenges do you find along the way?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky to have had a lot of pre-existing relationships, so it was easier to open the doors and go straight to the people at the top. And as Jawad said, you know, we've made them a lot of money in the past with video games. I've licensed, as he said, Top Gun, RoboCop, Top Gun for video games originally, RoboCop, Jurassic Park, Platoon, Addams Family, back in the day, a long time ago. As I say, I'm 503 years old. But that was quite useful, and they remember that. So obviously, you know, if we can say to them, we can do this again because we really believe in this space, then they sit up and take notice. So we were able to open doors that certainly a company in our position would be pretty challenged to do. And I mean, what's the point of making these relationships if you can't use them? So that's opened doors, and that in turn opens more doors. And our mission is to make NFTs mainstream. I mean, you guys are the core of this whole phenomenon that's taking place now, but it's still a relatively small sector. And what we want to do is get as many people as possible enthused as you guys are and bring in the mainstream. And that's a real challenge in itself, because everything else is quite clunky to onboard on other platforms or in the blockchain generally. In the crypto world is quite challenging to people who don't know anything about it. So we had to put our experience with user interface and user experience together to make that whole experience as seamless as possible and to make the onboarding as easy as possible, but at the same time without alienating you guys, because there is where we could simplify things so much that it could actually put you guys off. So it's a delicate balancing act, and you know, I'm not saying we've got it right, and that's where your feedback counts, but you know, we're getting there, and it's it's a big plan we have, and it's going to take several years, but we hope we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Someone needs to put on their headphones. Gary, if you have some headphones, would you mind sliding them on real quick, just so I don't get any reverb?
Yeah, I haven't got any noise in here at all. Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm in a hotel room with my laptop, so I don't have a decent setup, I'm afraid.
Got it. Okay, just to piggyback off of that, there was actually a lot to unpack there, and for everyone listening, I just want you to understand that both Jawad and Gary provided a bunch of gems there, in terms of dealing with business behind the scenes and certain things that may come up. Gary highlighting his history. Well, actually, Jawad highlighting Gary's history running, I guess, one of the biggest video game companies. Is that correct? Would you mind dropping that name, or is that okay?
Yeah, well, it was quite a while ago. So it was actually in the days of computer games before video games, if there's a differentiation there. So a little while before the Nintendos dropped, the big ones were things like Commodore 64 and VIC-20. So those were the sort of pioneering days of computer games and video games. And it was a company called Ocean Software. And I was one of the team at Ocean Software and senior VP at Ocean of America, and it even predated EA. And in our time, we did become the largest developer publisher in the world.
That's incredible. And that actually speaks to a lot of things happening currently involving your platform. But again, I just want to make sure that everyone listening understands that when endeavoring to create a project, things like having a really long track history and solid relationships are ideal. They can grease the wheels if you're having a lot of resistance. Resistance is going to be there regardless, but really it really helps to really know people and say, hey, like, I've done this before, I can do this again. It's way easier when it comes to onboarding people to, let's say, everyone's problem right now, which is onboarding casual people into crypto, which is what you also highlighted. That's very important. It's something that every platform and actually every single person is dealing with, trying to onboard a friend or a family member. So we know what comes with that. So it's everyone's collective responsibility to help ease that along. Lastly, Jawad mentioned the legalities that come with licensing. That's the thing that really made me say, hey, we need to really talk about this, because it takes a lot. And again, your history, your prior track record is the thing that really eased that, which is what you explained. So again, everyone listening, these are certain tools that are beneficial. I'm not going to say it's going to be beneficial for creating a Terra Virtua, but in general, if you want to launch a project.
Yeah, like if you look at this helmet, for example, like this is something that's going to be something that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. Now, this is from Top Gun. So one of the big launches we're going to be doing in a few weeks' time is like all of the Top Gun materials from the first Top Gun movie, and we're doing Top Gun Maverick 2 as well next year. And to get the approval for these helmets, to get the studios to agree that it was the right shade of color, it was of the right quality, get them to rubber stamp it. All of that is something that, like, look, this is the Maverick helmet. The Top Gun Maverick helmet sold recently, the original one, for $65,000 from the movie. So there's a whole lot of really cool stuff we want to create. And now what we're trying to do also is to try to build things from the IP. Like, you can see that one of the things that's very popular on our site is these little robots you'll see in this little reel. Because as well as licensed IP, we wanted to create our own brand. Like, you got the Funkos, those little collectible toys. We created our V-Flex, and this was something that we've cultivated in-house over the last few years. This beautiful family of robots with a back history and a story. And the idea is eventually, there's a Pixie, one of them. Well, the idea is eventually to have versions of our little robots around the brands that we're working with, like having Street Fighter ones or Tekken ones or ones based around sports or famous movies. And what we have found, which we were very surprised about, was that people really engage with these little characters. This was a little labor of love that we did with these little robots. But we found that they really got the number 2 selling item on our website. People were really engaged well with these items.
Yeah, I mean, I like engaging with them personally. Again, when it comes to these items and the fact that, I mean, you just showed us the Top Gun helmet, like the nostalgia factor, plus the difficulty of acquiring the license. These things equal to the value of the item itself. So that is the main reason why I made sure that we needed to make a point of like, hey, this is really difficult to get, y'all. So it's not like you're creating something and the difficulty is in the sweat equity that was put into the creation of the item. It's more a matter of how the item was acquired. The licensing, excuse me, in order to create the item in the space. That's super awesome that you highlighted that, y'all. I actually want to. I have a personal little, egotistical question here. I want to know, Jeff mentioned that there were some leaks. I mean, I want a couple more leaks. I'm a little greedy. Can you tell us any other licenses that are in the pipeline? Any other objects that are on the way?
Oh, would love to, but it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. well, I'm not just to be cagey, but the problem is we are on the verge of signing some major ones, and obviously, if they're not actually signed, then you don't want to jeopardize it by anything leaking out. The latest one we can confirm is Pacific Rim. But I will tell you, actually, and this is something we haven't revealed, so here's a proper leak for you, and no one's going to kill me for this, I don't think. You may not know, but Netflix are broadcasting an anime version of Pacific Rim. They're doing an entire TV series based on Pacific Rim in an anime style, and we've got that as well. So there you go. No one else knows that.
What? Will Fam, did you hear that? That's crazy. Think about that. Think about what that's gonna do in terms of onboarding people. They're gonna want, like, they're gonna FOMO like more than once. They're gonna FOMO for the anime. Then they're gonna FOMO for things from the anime. And where are they gonna come? They're gonna come right here.
Right. So awesome. I'm going to get killed now for saying that, but that's just a small drop. I mean, we're looking at a lot of different areas, and it's not just movies and it's not just TV. As Jawad said before, it's sports, it's video games, video game characters, and we've really got very heavily into the art side as well, because we're lovers of the whole crypto art side. Jawad's been very, very active in getting and acquiring some amazing artists out there in the Middle East that he got to know, and we've got those on our site at the moment. And this is what I'm not going to leak, but we've got a major comic book artist with an entire gallery. So the whole 3D gallery will be populated by his digital work, and that's being released on Halloween or for Halloween. And we're doing a big preview for it. Sorry?
Incredible. The art that Gary's talking about, it's incredibly beautiful. I mean, we're huge fans. It's shockingly terrifying, and it's perfect for Halloween. So Gary's been working quite close with the artist, because again, that's what it is. And when you talk about brands, I mean, this is the thing that Gary also has got like a very good relationship with a lot of the top artists and writers in Marvel and DC. And what we're really trying to do is bring, some of the best on board. And this is actually one of the interesting challenges we have. Okay. And because essentially when you have established artists who have never been in crypto, there's a whole education process in bringing them into crypto. And part of that is contractual and it's legal and bringing them in. And when we're also onboarding crypto artists, we've got the challenge that crypto artists, a lot of them want to remain completely anonymous. So you have got all of a sudden like oil and water, and we're trying to blend them in a nice way, because the way of dealing with contracts on them is very different.
That's right. And there's a lot of skepticism about them, because these comic books don't know about this space at all. And what this is sort of a salvation to them, because at the very, very beginning, with comic book artists for DC and Marvel specifically, let's say, they would be commissioned to draw Superman or make the covers and the actual pages, paint the pages for Superman, and they'd be paid to do that. And the comic book companies would keep those original pages. And then that all changed in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, where DC and Marvel allowed the comic book artists to keep their own original work and sell them on. And that gave them a secondary revenue stream. So they get paid for the commissions themselves, and then they'd be able to sell their comic book art, the original comic book art, at conventions and things like that. But along came digital, and the whole computer graphics thing allowed them to be a lot more prolific and improve their output. But what happened was they lost the ability to create painted art. They'd still do pencils probably, but then they'd scan in the pencils, the sketches, and then paint over that digitally. And they had nothing to sell. But now along comes the NFT world and restores that whole income that they'd lost over the past 10, 20 years. So they're going to embrace this pretty hard. And what's quite interesting is, as you'll see, when we launch this at the end of the month, they're actually looking now to make it worthwhile, and therefore implementing small animations in their digital art to actually differentiate them from paper. So it's not something you could have on paper, obviously. And that's obviously changing the whole artist dynamic. There's so much exciting stuff going on in this space, and we really are. We're so privileged to be part of it, and I'm not just saying that. We love it.
That's awesome. Oh wow! Wait, Gary, I'm getting a little reverb from your.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, hey! Don't get me wrong. I like the sound of my voice. You know, if you want me to hear my own voice through your microphone, I'm cool with that. But this is about you, right? This is about Terra Virtua. You know, so
that's right. I've turned down the volume.
It's all good. All right. Actually, I want to shift gears just a little bit. You mentioned graphics, right? And I believe you also mentioned that originally you hopped into VR and AR, but then you doubled back because, I guess for clarity's sake, you doubled back because there wasn't an audience, or you doubled back because the technology didn't catch up? What's up? What's the deal?
I mean, originally we designed the whole platform to be VR based, with the expectation that VR was going to become mainstream within a couple of years because the promise was so great. Everyone was talking about it. It was just before Oculus launched the Quest, we were very excited about it. We developed everything to work in VR, and then we realized that VR wasn't going to take off as much as people expected. And this was for a number of reasons. And obviously the power of the machine, the fact that back then you needed a PC as well as the rig itself to operate it, the cost. But most importantly, and this is why I believe the Quest hasn't taken off to the extent, there's no killer app. There is no amazing app or game which compels you to say, I'm going to spend my $300 or $400 on that rig because I want to play that game. No one's developed that yet. And until there is such a game, it's not going to drive user adoption. So we wanted to make sure there was going to be mass user adoption. And because there wasn't, we had to reevaluate. And that's when we sort of pivoted a little bit. And we're still using Unreal Engine for all the rich environments. But we pivoted a little and focused everything more on AR and desktop, mobile, etc., etc. And I don't think we're compromised because of it. And as soon as VR does get mainstream, we're ready to go because we've already got that developed in our back pocket.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. Because the key thing that we really wanted to focus on was initially it was a big VR thrust, but you know what? The more we looked at it, we thought, you know what? The key thing here is, if you have an NFT right now, when people buy items, a lot of them are flat cards and they just sit on people's wallets, getting dusty. metaphorically. And what we wanted to do is try to bring that out and allow people to share, allow people to interact with those NFTs, allow them to show them off. Because if the mentality of collecting is that when you get these things, when you collect, part of the joy of collecting is to be able to show your friends. And when you buy something flat and it's just sitting in a wallet and you can't consume it, you can look at a website, it's boring. So we wanted it so, like here, you can see on the reel, you can go buy the item, and after you buy the item, you can view it in full 3D on the website. But then after you purchase it, that item is instantly available in your own personal fan cave, which is your own space, which you can deck out yourself. You can put all your items in, and it's also available in AR at the same time. And like Gary said, we have done the VR. It's already in our back pocket. We already have bounced it across to Oculus for approval. I mean, we've got a very talented bunch of people. I mean, like our team is just really on it all the time. And like, we started off with a smaller space, which is the fan cave, but we just launched this week the Terra, which is a large space for your large vehicles, and we've done the gallery as well. And we've got other things we want to do, like the Mega Dome, because if you've got a kaiju or a Jaeger robot, which is the size of like 10 football pitches, then you need a space as big as that. So we wanted to create multiple environments so you can interact with your NFT in any way that you want. And ultimately, we want to make it so that you can bring your friends there. You can share these spaces. And when you look at this bit here on the video, in VR, you can pick them off the shelf. You can look at them, you can hold them, you can look around in any angle. It's a very sort of powerful thing. And one of the things that we have, for example, and this is one of the little projects that we're working on, like we created the ability, so we created art on our art again became a big piece of what we're doing. And art is on our website, but when you buy the art, then you can actually go ahead and before you buy it, you can browse around the gallery and view it in a high fidelity environment. And one of the things that we're aiming to do is to try to create a version of this that we can share with a wider crypto community where artists can show off their work. I would love, to have content of the whale vault available in one of these. So you guys, the whale community, can log on and go and see the contents of the whale vault in our gallery. And we're working with people like Gabby Dizon and people like that to try to bring their artwork on as well. Because one of the things that we understand is that the way that if we built this really cool tech, why not let the wider community have access to it and use it in ways to see what they can. You view your art in a gallery in every angle. It's a completely different experience to when you're just looking at it on a website. And we're going to try to bring this more into the foreground, especially, and you're going to get some surprises coming up over the next month, where you're going to see some pretty cool crypto art that you've never seen before running in our gallery.
Yeah, I agree. That's a major point that you just mentioned. That's also another thing that is something that people are actively working to provide for the space is essentially you have this collectible, this artwork. You want to show it off. That's the main thing. It's like, hey, well, actually, I'm not going to reveal the first part of what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna stick on this one point that you want to show it off to friends. You want to display it, right? So in the physical world, you want to display it one way. It could be a 2D display that will be digital. You can hang up on your wall, right? Or you have the option, which I feel is the most powerful option, is really having 360 immersion. Having an immersive experience is the key that will really keep a platform or a collectible really valuable and maintain its longevity. So the fact that, now this is a perfect segue, the fact that you've created this environment, this ecosystem, the fan cave, is something that I feel was incredibly genius. Again, you've spoken about the fan cave, but I think the whale community would appreciate a little bit more detail in regards to fan cave. I guess how to, or really deep diving, or what sort of things you can do with it.
Okay, so I can show you that. So, like, if you look at the reel, what you can see is that when you go onto a website and you buy any item, okay, as soon as you buy those items, they effectively go into your wallet. Now, if they go into your wallet, there's actually a download on our website where you can download the fan cave, and the fan cave is running on Unreal. So it's at the moment it's like a PC desktop installer, and anything that you have in your wallet is instantly available to you within the fan cave. And so you have got your own room, and this room can, at the moment, it's of a certain format, but you can see in this video that we're putting customization in. So when you come into the fan cave, it's a small environment, and we've got a large environment called the Terra Dome. But when you go into the fan cave, you've got placeholders on the wall, and you've got plinths. And then essentially what you can do, you can choose what you want to display. So literally anything that you have in your inventory appears, and you can literally go up to the windows, you can go up to the posters, you can change the images there, and that'll be artwork that you've bought. Like if you bought, let's say, the robots or the characters, you can choose what you have in your wallet, and you can just download it and it becomes available to you. So this is all free, and it's all available immediately. And also, it's also on your mobile phone. So let's say I bought the robot and then I see it in the fan cave. I can then use my mobile phone and I can put it anywhere in augmented reality, and I can take video and I can post it, and you can show it, you can share it. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Because it's about sharing that experience. And this large place that we created as well, this is also downloadable. We call it the Terra Dome. So when you now download the fan cave installer, it allows you to choose between the large space, the Terra Dome, and the small one within the same installer. And your big items you can put here, your spaceships, your tanks, your creatures, all the other big stuff that we've got coming through. And the smaller stuff, you can have it in your small, more personal space. And right now it's about using it, putting stuff down and taking videos and sharing it. But ultimately, we want you to be able to walk into it in VR. We want you to be able to live stream from it. We want you to be able to bring your friends into it. You know what we want? We want this. So let's just say that you're a huge Godfather fan. We want to have one space where everyone is a Godfather fan. Every collector can have their own Godfather merch, but then if they decide they want to exhibit it, all of the fans can have all of their merch in one space, and everyone can come and share it and look at it. So if you've got an engaged fan community, the fans are really looking at their merch and they're sharing what they have and exhibiting it together. I mean, that's a powerful thing,
Hey, Jawad, I just wanted to jump in here. I think it could be important to let everybody know that we are actually moving over to Matic in the near future. And everyone is probably wondering, well, what can I do with all my other collectibles that are not licensed by Terra Virtua? One thing that we're really excited to announce is that in the first quarter of 2021, we are going to be updating our blockchain contracts, to actually allow in other ERC 721 items from other platforms. So from other games, stuff that's already in your wallet, where there's going to be, some engineering that's going to need to be done due to quality from the images that might come from some of these items, but we will be allowing those items into the Terra Virtua ecosystem. So you could have your Gods Unchained cards, in your fan cave. Perhaps, further conversations with these teams, of course, matter, but, perhaps a Crypto Space Commander ship actually hanging out in your Terra Dome, etc. And of course, art gallery. Art is going to be big for us, bringing, art that's already been released by the other artists, getting that into your gallery so you're able to showcase that and hang it on the wall. One thing that I wanted to mention, kind of going with parallel with what Jawad was talking about with sharing on your mobile phone, I think I've had discussions with a lot of people, and as a big collector myself, I think I have like 13 or 14,000 Gods Unchained cards. Shout out to Gian who kicks my ass all the time. But I do want to say that sharing and having that positive ego of wanting to have the reactions of people seeing all your cool stuff and all the cool collections that you have and all the work that went into collecting and trading, etc. One thing that we are building, this is a kind of a leak, but it's not an IP leak, so sorry guys, but we are going to be working on developing a sense of a profile page on the Terra Virtua platform. It's been compared to like a Facebook page, but it's not. Basically, it's going to be, you can put a picture, a banner, you can put you actually make a wall post, videos, pictures. At the bottom of this profile page, you'll be able to include all your different caves that you have. One secret leak that I can give out now that is also in development, so don't quote me on it, but we're also going to be incorporating some kind of collection level rewards, badges. Yeah. A lot of cool flair for these profile pages. So you really have a true one-stop shop for all your collectibles, a way to show it off. whether it's on your desktop, post, connecting with friends and followers, or actually bring it outside of the Terra Virtua platform into the mobile application. Now, I think this would bridge into a conversation, into what time frame we're looking for this. That's a little open right now, but we are thinking sometime by first quarter again of 2021, we should have something like this implemented. As we further in development on this, we will absolutely be sharing in our development updates, which do come out monthly at this time. But we think it's going to be a super freaking fun community to hang out with. And instead of looking at your collectibles or a really expensive art piece you might have purchased, or that expensive Gods Unchained card you might have purchased in your Trust wallet or in your MetaMask on a desktop, it's boring looking at these thumbnail images. We just want to bring the entire ecosystem to life inside all of our caves so that everybody can enjoy it. So if you think that sounds good, I would love if everyone gave a little bit of a whale emoji stream text spam chat right now. If you like what you guys are hearing, I'll start it off. But, if you want to join our Discord, I know Show has shared that. We'd love nothing more for you guys to come into our Discord and, just show us some love. Give us some feedback. Sign up. Check it out. If you're uncomfortable with sharing feedback, in the community, that's fine. My DMs are always open to chat with you for any type of personal or private feedback. But, we're really, really going to be staying in touch, in particular with this whale community. So we'd love to get to know each other very well.
Hey, Jeff, just for clarity's sake, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware, because we're all crypto savvy. You're saying that you're moving the platform to Matic, so off chain, so off of Ethereum to Matic in order to do transactions in Matic while hosting other ERC tokens. Is that correct, or is it something else?
Yeah, so Matic is basically winning the sidechain war, right? And for us, we always have that concern about gas prices, minting prices for these items. Of course, anytime there's large minting prices, we're going to see a fluctuation in the costs, right? We have to cover these costs of gas, and we really don't want that to reflect on the user. We don't want to spend 8, 9, 10 USD to mint an item and then have to charge, either a large portion of that or even half that on a particular item, because it destroys revenues. It makes prices very high for people. And one other thing with that is we just want it to be very fluid and cheap to move it around. If you want to move your item, we do have our own marketplace, which you can auction items, buy and sell items, of course. But if you do wish to move it to OpenSea, for instance, maybe you're a little bit more popular on OpenSea, that's fine. We're okay with that. We're not competitors. We're all friends in this space. But we want to make this as fluid and functional as possible for everybody. And Matic seemed to win that sidechain conversation with us in order to do this.
That is awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears, right? To this is a big moment right here. I want to shift to our community's favorite subject, the vault.
Yes.
Major, huge. Everyone knows about our vault. Biggest thing in all of the entire meta space. We currently, right, after taking a quick look, I believe we currently have 40 collectibles from Terra Virtua in the vault. Special thanks to Whale Shark. His speed and diligence has definitely allowed us to acquire some pretty awesome things. Some of them being, actually, Whale Shark, I think he just picked up a new alien spaceship from Lost in Space, if I'm not mistaken.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, and then oh wait, hold on. Let me unmute Gary for 1 second. Hey, sorry about that, Gary. You're unmuted now. So yeah, Whale Shark picked up an alien spaceship, and the vault itself has some of the rarest editions of the Godfather collectibles. I believe we have the Golden Vito Corleone with the 00001 serial number, which is major, I believe, right? It's an RX to be specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you mind expounding a little bit on the VFlect and or I would say the color codes and levels for those of us who aren't aware of what it means?
Jawad, can you?
Oh well, yeah. So basically, I can't tell you what the color coding is off the top of my head, but essentially, we have got a beautiful little FAQ which shows you all the rarity types Let me just see if I can actually dig it up. 1 second. And essentially, the whole idea is that from Homeworld Prime, the primary VFlex lands on, gets teleported to Earth, and then effectively from that, it creates clones of the VFlex. Now I've got a little example of the color coding here. I'm just going to share it with you guys, so you can actually see what it is. Let me just try to bring it. Here we go. So I'm just going to share the screen, so you can sort of see the way the rarity works with the VFlex. Luckily, my head of product is also listening in, and he just pinged me this link. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so can you see this?
Yes.
So, yeah. So essentially, what you have is that as you go from the rarities from the least rare to the most, from the least rare to the most rare, we basically they're color coded by their cores. So essentially, every single one of these VFlex has got like a central processor core. That's how we've done our mythology, and every one of those, as a result of them, gives you a different eye color. And so what happens is that those VFlex, the Oryx, there's one, there's a prime, and then as you move your way down the rarity, it goes all the way to the blanks, which is the most common. So that's the way the color coding is working on the VFlex themselves.
Yeah, I noticed. I actually so I won a blanks in a trivia event in a different server. Shout out to Satman. That's my homie. Yeah, he was running a trivia event, and I won a blanks for a collectible from The Godfather. But I definitely want an RX. I definitely want an Azurex. You know, I want the upper tier. You know.
Yeah, and you know what? World Shark has got his own personalized VFlex. So at some point, you guys have got to just ask to have a little peek of it, because his one is pretty cool.
Hey, Will Shark, don't hold out on us. What's up? You gotta show that. You gotta post a screenshot.
It's a one of a kind.
I think Show and Jawad, I think the community might want some more teasers, or maybe some more secret stuff, and I think Gary has something to share with the community right now about that.
Hey, Gary.
Hi. I think I'm on mute. Oh no,
no,
you're
good. Yeah.
I'm sorry if my sound is bad. There's nothing I can do about it. Just on a laptop in a hotel room. But you know, the rarest thing of all is a one of one, obviously. And I mentioned earlier that we're proud to be revealing our famous comic book artist for Halloween. He's releasing his collection for Halloween on Terra Virtua, and we've created, with his permission, one of his pieces, just a one of one, which is being donated to the vault, the Whale Vault.
What?
Guys, when you see what we gave to the vault, you guys are gonna fall out of your chair. I remember a story where Gary actually showed me a teaser of what this collectible going into the Whale Vault was going to look like. And like I said before, you know, I'm putting my hand up in the air right now. I have over 14,000 NFTs. I said, Gary, this is my all-time favorite NFT I have ever seen. You know, from an artist. So I think you guys are just going to be super stoked when Whale Shark is able to make this public, and you know, we develop that conversation with him and let him know when this launches. But be on the lookout near Halloween. I don't want to give you guys too much info. I know Gary will kill me, but I think somewhere around Halloween at the end of this month, you guys will see some really, really, really awesome stuff. And firstly, I might fight some of the whale community to buy it. You know, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay. No, for sure. I mean, this is stuff that we're really proud of. I mean, it circles back down to what we're all saying, is that we really enjoy what we're doing. And as a result, when we put these things together that we put onto our marketplaces, we really get a kick out of it. And we all have our different areas. I mean, Jeff is like going bonkers at the moment, you know, like working with crypto artists, and we're trying to onboard them onto our site and trying to find really cool ways to exhibit their art in ways that people haven't been able to before. And I've been trying to do some stuff, like, I mean, one of the ladies that we onboarded recently, her name's Amrita, and she's an artist in Dubai, and what she does is she records waveforms of your voice, and from that she asks you about something, like where you live or something about your family or whatever, and then she creates an art piece around it. And she made art for the ruler of Dubai, and the sheikh has got her paintings hanging on the wall, his wall, and she's just uniquely made artworks for us on Terra Virtua. So we're doing stuff that we want to try, which is new and which is different, and try to bring not only a great consumption way to consume your NFTs, but bring some originality into the space, so and try to enhance people who are working the space as well. We're very ambitious. We really, really want to be the place where you can really interact with your NFTs anywhere. And it's not just and one thing that we haven't really mentioned, that Gary and I, when we do our investor pitches or anything else, they're done. But when we were, one of the things that we always spoke about was that one of our key missions is to bring the mass market into crypto. Because you know what, like when we are going to be launching, and I'll let Jeff talk a little bit about that, but we're going to after we do our token sale, there's going to be different levels in Terra Virtua, and those and the prestige program, we're calling it, and that prestige program is basically going to have all sorts of benefits to the members, and allow them to have unique rewards and gifts and NFTs that they can't get anywhere else. But then we also want to engage the mass market and bring them in. And when they come in, they end up becoming more engaged in crypto. The mass market is ready for NFTs. What they're scared of is the concept of blockchain and of fraud and of everything that they hear in the wider market. But you know what? They do understand security. They do understand in-app purchases. They do understand how to stake. They do understand how to use a platform. So when we bring them in a very intuitive way, I mean, you can go to Terra Virtua, and if you don't know the first thing about crypto, we create your crypto address for you. We will allow you to pay by credit card. So if grandma wants to buy little Timmy an NFT, she can. That's one of our core missions. And that's something we haven't really touched upon, literally. And I've had grandma buy an NFT for little Timmy. That's happened. I was very pleased about that.
Come on, Timmy. You got to ask grandma for all the things.
Now Timmy's got a limp and he's got all sorts of problems, so grandma's helping him out. But basically, this is the thing one thing that we're trying to do here is really try to bring in a new audience. Like the crypto market, the NFT market, yes, it's thriving and there's a lot of people who are incredibly engaged, but there are millions of people out there who would love to have NFTs, and we want to try to bring them in. And by making it super friendly and creating an ecosystem which is very, very, very simple to use, that's what we believe is going to be the key. And more users, more NFT users, more people there who are consuming and using these things, it's going to help everyone in the market. It's going to help every creator. It's going to help every platform. And on top of that, it's going to bring trust into a place where inherently the mass market doesn't trust. And that's what we're trying to change. That's our little mission.
Wow. Well, fam, did you hear Jawad? That was like perfect. Pitch perfect right there. I believe that was so perfect that we could just wrap it up from there. There's nothing can really follow that up. I think at this point.
I actually might have something for you, Show, that could follow that up. I wanted to just give a little bit teaser. People have been asking us about our token that is coming in the coming weeks. We are going to be launching our own token, which is TVK. It is the Collect token is the name of it. One of the cool things that I think this community will really enjoy is that we were, am I actually on, Show? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yep. We actually, had some nice discussions with Whale, figuring out ways that we could work together. And one thing that we're going to be doing is coming out with a campaign called Prestige. The Prestige campaign is it will be a full-time campaign, but there will be, similar to dolphins, sharks, and whale roles in the whale community, we are going to have specific roles availability for staking and getting those roles as well. This will include special perks within the Terra Virtua community on the platform, airdrops, NFT airdrops, token airdrops. I guess that's kind of the same thing. Rewards monthly, very similar to War. So a lot of the things that you guys are used to having fun with in the whale community, we've adopted some of those policies. We're having some close discussions with Whale, and we're actually working on figuring out a way to do something special for the whale community itself. Perhaps that can include a different program. But again, this is what we are brainstorming right now. The prestige is locked in place. So the tiering, the staking, the airdrops, the NFTs is all in place. We'll announce much, much more information on that when we get closer to token launch. I do encourage you to check out Show's message right now and join our Discord, so that way we don't have to spam and whale. But we really plan on having a big relationship with this community. We really love it. We're big fans of what Whale Shark is personally doing himself, and what he has built in this community is just unreal. So I think another thing is we will be doing some form of an airdrop on our token launch. This most likely will be a form of a token airdrop, which will be, the information will be announced soon. We are trying to incorporate some form of maybe perhaps a special NFT drop. So depending on what we decide to go with, once we kind of put the final icing on this cake of these plans, I highly suggest you jump in our Discord, stay tuned, follow us on Twitter, engage with our community, and because I don't want any of you guys to miss any of this launch, release, or any type of early rewards that could be coming your way.
Wow, Jeff, that really was the perfect follow-up. I commend you. On behalf of the rest of the whale community, I would like to say thank you so much for coming through and sharing all that goodness with us. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Gary, Jawad, Jeff, Crypto Block, Dan, thank you for coming through and giving us all the deets on everything. We appreciate
Thanks for giving us the forum. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, really do. Very much.
Shout out to Show. Shout out to Whale. If we guys can, whoever's still here, if you can drop again, let's spam the stream text with a little whale emoji, just to show our respect for Whale Shark himself, the man, the myth, the legend in this community. Dolphins, sharks, whales, and just anybody else that's in this community. Thank you so much for your time, and we're really happy to have this time of discussion. So very grateful, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.